good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today we'll be talking about the salary earners cycle, how the average salary earner lives. Like, why do I get paid so much? Like, some of them earn, some salary earners earn so big, and at the end of the day, they still get broke. In fact, they get broke before the next salary. So the salary earner, the average salary earner who doesn't understand how to use his income has to live from paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck. No good savings, and of course, when there's no good savings, no capital, no asset, and of course, no investment. So we are going to talk about the salary earners cycle today. Now, this is how the salary earner cycle is. The salary earner cycle is the salary earner cycle is this. He's excited on payday, like, oh, he has gotten the great credit alert. He's excited, like that money is coming in. Nevertheless, I have seen salary earners who get so frustrated on payday because they have gotten into so much debt, not just debt as in not just bank loans. We're talking of I remember my years in the bank when I was contract staff in one of the oldest banks in Nigeria, in financial institutions in Nigeria. I remember as a contract staff, and not just for the contract staff, but for every staff of the bank, we had people who would come into the bank, mostly anything past 4, to sell different items. They believe we are bankers and we are comfortable, we have it all. Believe me, my broke days were the days when I was in that system. So you take debt, you take clothes on debt, you take shoes, we collect things even just to meet up. So when salary comes, you begin to start paying debts and all of that. It's crazy. So some of those days when salary comes, you see us getting frustrated and all of that, getting all worked up. Now, what is the life of the average salary earner? Now, he receives his credit alert. It's a cycle. He just receives his credit alert. Then the next thing, the bills keep popping in. Like, some he already knew, and some are just coming up from nowhere, like that. They just keep coming in like that. And by the time he or she finish paying, by the time you finish paying your bills, you have little left. Which, of course, an average Nigeria has a minimum of 3 dependents, married or not. It's just like that. The system isn't really working. So we have a lot of people depending on us, from our aged parents to siblings who are not cared for, to children. Like, you just can't completely throw a blind eye to all of this. So we, after paying bills, the next thing you do, you want to reach out to family and friends, and mostly family, like as your chorus, people who you're responsible for, your dependent, and you want to be, because take it or leave it, someone has to reach out to someone. So you give them what is due to them from that salary, or what you feel you should do, your responsibility. You do that from that salary. Then the moment you finish paying your bills, you reach out to family and friends, or let's say family. That's the most important part of a person. To me, I'm a family person, and to me, having a family is a blessing for me. So that was the cycle for me too. So after paying, you're just managing what is left, what will be left at that time. You're just managing to survive. You're just managing to meet up, and it's a crazy thing. Then before you know what, you just keep managing. You're already broke, but you feel you have something that could last for the end of the month. But by the time you start paying bill, you can start making daily expenses like transportation, phone calls, and feeding and all of that. But even if you buy food stuff, like it still doesn't cover you. So you start doing that, then you just keep managing to survive. Usually a week or 3 days to the next salary, most salary earners are broke. Like, they are crazily broke. Yes, that's how it works. And then salary comes in again, then you keep going through that cycle. That's why you see people working for a decade, and it's like there's nothing to show for. Yes, we know there are spiritual battles here and there, but the thing is, sometimes these battles are not spiritual. Sometimes these battles are not spiritual. I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God who know very well that our warfares are not carnal, okay, and they are mighty through God in pulling down strongholds. But when it comes to battling with poverty in Nigeria, not all of these battles are spiritual. Some of them requires planning. They require a lot that we're not taught. Most of us feel because we are graduates, we've been to school, you're a degree holder, so you have a degree and you feel you know it all. Even our lecturers are broke. Haven't you noticed your account or financial management lecturer looks broke? So what do you expect such a broke person to actually tell you? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but look at them. They live salary to salary. They just want a government job to have to be able to like just keep up. So these people are broke, like they are real broke. Now, how do we break this cycle? And I'm here to talk today about, today we're going to be talking about how to break this cycle and live a normal life as a salary earner. Having a job always sounds like a blessing, which it really is, until we start getting too deep into the cycle and we get our hands chained, like we get our hands tied up, like we can't really do anything outside that. Now, the job now looks like it's the job that was a blessing from the beginning begins to feel like a cage. And that's because of the way and manner we and understanding we came into the job with. We felt having a job was going to answer all our prayers, all was going to be a solution to all our financial needs. It doesn't work that way. So being a salary earner, having the job is a blessing, and you can still remain a salary earner and still enjoy the blessing in it. How do we go about it? First, you have to ensure that you're debt free. Like, take it or leave it. A borrower is a slave to the lender. The Bible is not wrong about it. A borrower is a slave to the lender, be it a bank or legal financial institution, be it institution, be it taking debt clothes. Some of us take, like I did it. You take clothes on credit, you look good, but you've not paid for it. The next on payday, they all know when payday comes, and boom, they are there. These people come to your bank to sell to you. They know when you're paid. You see them coming around when the moment they know. How they know, I don't know. It's their business. They are running their businesses and they just need to be paid. And they persuade you to even take. Some people will tell you, don't worry, you can pay for 3 months. As sweet as it sounds, debt is only sweet at the time when you're taking it. Loans are sweet at the time when you're taking it. What you do with it, most times, doesn't leave you, doesn't make you feel good at the end of the day. So do as a salary earner, as much as you can. Ensure that you do away with debt as much as you can. Debt as much as you can. Don't be a slave. Being a salary earner is slavery enough, knowing you're working for somebody else. But don't be a slave by enslaving yourself with debt and taking loans and here and there. That's the average life. I'm using my case study as a banker. That's the average life of a banker. Yes, most bankers, most people who work in financial institutions end up broke. That's the truth. Mostly when they come out, you see that that's where you know how broke they are. It's slavery actually in there. But I'm not saying getting a bank job is bad, but the mentality we all came into it with is you've gotten a job, you're excited, your financial worries are over, until you find yourself trapped within this cycle and you just see yourself living the same life every month, year in, year out. And that's not that. At some point you become depressed. You begin to see the same job. Be it a permanent, it's not about how high or how low you earn. These principles are just there to help you. So first of all, ensure you are debt free. But if you're watching this video and you're already in debt, I was there. There was a time when, mostly when I was leaving the bank, there was a time when, at the time when I was leaving the bank, I remembered I was in debt. I was earning, okay, my debt for the Christians, my debt was like a tithe. So my salary was like a tithe to my debt. So I was owing 10 times, over 10 times what I earned. So that was how I left. But gradually I began to pay. In my next video, we'll talk about how you can pay debts, as in how you can pay debts and still enjoy and still live through what you have and still even get to the point where you have to save. In my next video, we'll be talking about that, as in I'll be breaking that down as simple as possible for us to understand. These are not practical experiences. I went through them, as in I experienced them. I was so engrossed in debt. Like at some point, I was scared about a whole lot. I took loans from microfinance banks. I took loans from people around me. I took online loans for most of this online app. Mostly during the COVID, it was crazy for me. I was just taking in loan, and it was crazy. I didn't have any other thing doing. So, but how I was able to be debt free in a year and start and not just had salary but had businesses and became very free. So I became very free. You need to really experience financial freedom. Financial freedom is not about having 10 million in your bank account. It's not about having $1 million. No, financial freedom, the first level to financial freedom is being debt free. It's being debt free. So you try as much as you can to do away with debt, which I already said in my next video. We'll talk about that. So now, once you're debt free, the next thing you should do is, as much as Nigerians we know, Nigerians are flashy. We have a flashy. We love flashy lifestyle. We love being flashy. We love pepper them. Let's say that pepper them lifestyle. Like, sometimes you don't need to pepper anybody, because when you're trying to pepper them, sometimes you're peppering yourself, and you're trying to be like friends who are doing pepper them. Nobody said you should not pepper them, but when you could pepper them and pepper yourself at the end of the day. So we don't need all that drama. Spend on necessities. On this way to becoming financially free, to becoming a millionaire, to enjoy the salary or whatever source of income you're having, spend on the things that are important to you. I've had occasions where I buy things, and at the end of the day, I'll be like, why did I even buy this? I don't need them. Possibly I bought them because the person who brought that person into the bank then was a relative of a colleague I am so free with, and I was convinced to patronize, and I just wanted to patronize to keep a face. I really did not need some of these things, and I bought them. Some of the things I bought, like I get home and I'll be like, this thing is not even as good. It's not worth the price. So you need to really know that you don't need to show off. Everybody wants a good life. Everybody wants a good lifestyle. Nigerians, we love looking good. We love looking flashy. Yes. But you really, 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 really need to get to that point where where you should be financially free. That's how you really enjoy it. So buy the things you need. What you don't need, no matter how enticing or how sweet they talk you into it, you don't need it. Don't spend on things you don't need. Those are the biggest form of liabilities we have. You buy things, you get home, you don't need them, or you think you need them, and you get home, maybe the need for it isn't up to the worth of the price. To me, it's a waste. I lived that life. Now, this channel is not about telling you about some things I learned on the internet or something. That this is my practical life. This is the person I have been for years. I worked in the bank for exactly 11 years, and I left the bank depressed and in debt. I was financially caged when I left. Now, this is one lifestyle with people in the bank, people who work in Nigerian banks. I wouldn't generalize it because I don't know for other bankers. But in Nigerian bankers you want to dress to keep up, you want to look fly. The bank requires that you look fly and all of that. But the thing is, at what expense are you doing it? Apart from those who worked in the bank, at what expense are you living? Are you buying things? Are you buying it to show? Because most Nigerians buy things to show off to people who might not even be paying attention to you. See, if you learn to live your life like knowing that nobody cares, Everybody's running their own race. So when you're trying to buy something because you want to pepper them, that person you are trying to pepper might not even be seeing it. You are the one that will feel the peppering the pepper at the end of the day. Permit me to use that. The heat, you're the one feeling it. It's from you. It's nobody else. So why would you want to buy something you really do not have enough to pay for? Nobody said a flashy and flamboyant life isn't good. It's beautiful. We all want a good life. It's all good. But the thing is, are you living that good life out of comfort? I want to buy an SUV from what I have, not from a loan. You see people taking out loans to buy cars that you drive for fun. You're not a businessman. I'm not saying buying a car is wrong, but it would be sweeter if you're buying that car from your own money, not from loan. You don't take loans to buy cars that are not that are not invested. That car becomes a liability. That loan, at the end of the day, you pay for it. Now, such a car, everybody congratulates. Wow, did you see this guy's car, man? It's a loan. It makes you a slave. Take it or leave it. Some people might say, I understand. It's not my understanding. It's just what it is. It's a loan. Some people buy big cars that they don't even have money to fuel it. Just money to fuel. They don't have it. And you see them disturbing friends and all of that. I lived a life where I was taking debt on that little salary that I had. Now, the salary already was not enough because I'm a single mom. So the salary was not even enough. It was not helping. But I was worsening it. I was like, I had chains on my hands. There's a parable that used to say, you're already set up to be burnt and you're striking the matches on yourself. I think that was the case for me. I wasn't thinking. So please spend on the things that are important to you. I didn't intend for this video to be long, but these few points are already taking time. So spend on the things that are most important. Spend on necessities. Don't buy things to impress anybody. Nobody cares. Like the people you think care right now, in a short while, you realize they don't even matter. They are not there. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Even if they talk, this guy doesn't wear brand new clothes. I wear second-hand clothes. Yes, when I needed to pay those debts and all of that, I was at some point I was only carrying cornrows for almost a year. I just kept making cornrow after cornrow. I looked beautiful. I did makeup. I could bring videos with that. I think I have some online videos where I did that. I looked beautiful. Now, this channel is not just about financial management. I'm not a financial I'm not a finance specialist. It's just real life advice. Don't buy the things you don't need. Don't do the things you feel you want people to see. You're not peppering anybody. You end up peppering yourself at the end of the day. Please. So let's keep going. I don't want to waste more time on this. Now, that's the part. When you get yourself out of debt, then you learn to start buying things you really need, spending on necessities, things that are important. It doesn't mean once in a while you won't give yourself a good treat. It's also a necessity, but it shouldn't be often when you know you don't have enough to cover for it. You don't have enough to stood for it. So it shouldn't be often. Spend it, do it, take yourself out. It's good. Do you know if you even save well, so if you even have a good, you're debt free and you spend on important things and you're able to save something, after a while you see you have some good money to even take yourself out on vacation. It's your job at the end of the day won't really be slavery as we think it is. So now that aside, then once you have done that, remember you're now debt free. You're spending, and for you to be able to be debt free, you have to cut down your spendings, which we've talked about. Spend on the things that are important. Things that are not important, please let them be. You're not on this earth to impress anybody. Nobody's wedding has been the best. When there's a best wedding at that time, there's always another to top it up. Nobody's clothes are the best. When you're wearing the best because that's the best where you are or at that time, but time improves and all these things changes. So nobody has the best life. Nobody has it. Just live according to what God has blessed you while hoping for something better. Then secondly, while you're on this journey after clearing up debt, the next thing you start doing, you start saving. There should be, even the Bible said, God gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Meaning God gives both seed and bread. It is you to decide which of what He has, how much of what He has given you is seed and how much of it is bread. most of us eat both the seeds and the bread. So you have nothing to plant, you have nothing to fall back to. We have different savings accounts. There are different accounts that a person should have some percentage of money to go in. My next video will talk about that, where we have the emergency fund account. We have account, even account where you want to like flex. There should be an account for that. Like you want to give yourself a good treat, there should be this money you just drop somewhere, and when you need it, and as in you feel you want to like you want to bar, you want to chill, like you want to get to that place, so you just take from there and do what you won't really feel it, because you're not borrowing to do it, you're not doing it to impress, you already have it, you're just taking out of the abundance and just spending, which is sweet. That's a sweet one. So set aside savings, set aside some percentage to cater for your needs. Now, when you collect your salary as a salary earner or as a business person, there should be a particular percent. There's a percentage that should go to daily upkeep. There's a percentage that should go to savings. There's the percentage that should go to emergency funds. There was a time, let me just tell this short story. There was a time I thought I had an account for emergency funds, and that's when I started all this. When I started growing myself to be financially free, I had this emergency fund account, and so at the end of the month, so there was no actual emergency that came up, I'll just remove it. No, you don't remove it. You just keep leaving it there. Keep piling it up. It will pick up. It will grow. And it could be for a very big emergency that might pop up sometime. So please, have accounts where when your money comes in, be it a salary earner, be it a businessman or woman, whoever you are, just have some money set aside for your needs, your upkeep, your feeding and all of that. Have some money set aside for that. You know very well it is still that money that you use, so you don't have any other. Then you have a portion of it set aside for savings, which you don't have to touch. Yes, some people will tell you putting your money in the bank leaves you broke. My brother, you're a salary and I don't follow those things. Put it in the bank. The only thing you have to do, you have to learn how to do target savings. I said I was going to say it on my, you are going to watch it on my next video. Target savings. Like, okay, I'm saving this money. What do I want to do with it? Okay, I need a plot of land, and I'm saving this money. Okay, how much do I need to save to get? So just make it targeted. So it gives you that consciousness, like there's a goal you set to it. Because when you just save like randomly, it's like a ship that is set to sail without direction. It will end either wrecked up in the sea or at an unknown border, or like get stuck or something, that if it doesn't even capsize or something. So the thing is, it's target saving. So don't allow anybody deceive you that saving your money in the bank is wrong. You must save. You can't, okay, you're earning, maybe your savings is 20,000 naira. Yes, they'll tell you their business. Why not save it and have something big? The bigger your capital, then while you're saving, you start looking out for investment opportunities. You find out that by the time you need that money, your savings has actually grown and you have quite enough to venture into little investments here and there. So we'll be talking about that. Some people feel as a salary earner, you don't need to, as a salary earner, you still need passive income. You need to invest. So, but we'll be talking about that much later in this video. So first of all, you've said you set aside some percentage to cater for your needs, all needs, even a percentage to cater for the needs of the people that are depending on you. It shouldn't be, how do I put it? It shouldn't be, your account shouldn't just be left like that for it to just be taken out of. You won't really have control over it. Make a budget and know how much. This is about budgeting. How much do you intend to be spending for these people? Yes, we are all there to lift each other, and we all rise by lifting each other. So how much do you set aside to cover the needs of these people depending on you? They are a necessary part. So how much do you set aside to cover for that? So that is there. So when you learn how to make budget and how to save, how to make budget and how to share your money when it comes in, you won't really have the issue of randomly spending, and at the end of the day, by the time you check, there's nothing. So please do that if you must be financially free. Then we've talked about cutting down daily expenses. If you're the type who knows how to eat 3 wraps of apple for breakfast, like, please cut it down. Most times, our basic need, what we spend more on, is feeding. Now, nobody said you shouldn't eat healthy, but we actually even eat unhealthy and still fall sick and still take from the money to go and treat it. So eat healthy. Cut down. If even on your transportation, there are distances where I trek. I do it. Like, if where you're going to is not really far, it's also part of body work, your workout. So you could just trek, just to take a walk. Let me make sound trek, because people believe, I cannot trek, God forbid. Trekking is good. Mostly for those of us who are not always visiting the gym. Please, don't deceive yourself. Trekking is good. If you need to trek, trek. If you need to do it 2-3 times a week, so there's some distance. Some people can't even do anything. Like once they come out of their house, they're in their car, or they're taking a tricycle. This video is actually for the random person. Don't do when you hear tricycle, take a care. So you're doing this. And if you feel you're trying to cut down and then chartering a whole taxi, maybe possibly that's what you've been doing, you could start mingling and take tricycles. Just do all you can to cut down on your expenses. Cut it down. It will help you. Cut it down. Your daily expenses are like petty cash. You just know how to manage it so that something you have little at the end of the day to meet up the next salary or the next money that comes into your hand as a business person, and you keep growing from there. Cut down your expenses. Cut down your expenses. It's important. I am repeating it because, it's important. You can share, and if you don't cut down your expenses, at the end of the day, those monies you kept saved somewhere, you will have to go and touch them because you have not disciplined yourself enough on certain things. If you are the type that feels, I can't play with my food, please start eating right. Eat right. It's even good for you. You'll become a more healthy person. Please eat right. I've seen people who eat 1.5 spaghetti to alone. Like, I'm not a Yoruba person, but to be honest, are you people do it on one meal. And they brag about it. And later you're asking why you're broke. You're broke because you're eating all your money. You're eating both the seed and the bread. And that's not what the Bible said. God gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So please, let's do all we can to cut down our expenses. Even for a lady, you're making your hair. If that person making your hair is charging you too much and there's somebody else who can do it better, don't look at the class of the salon. My sister, find where it's cheap. Nobody want to know. The tag of who made your hair is not your hair. Am I not looking good? Ooh. And by the way, this was made by my sister. She's a good hairstylist, Susan. So back to what I was saying, cut down your expenses. If sometimes we make unnecessary calls, you're calling friends who might not even know if you exist, if you're not there, if you die today, who might not even remember you. I'm not saying don't call, I'm not saying don't keep relationship, they are important. But what I'm saying is, I used to be that person. You make calls for 1 hour, gisting on things, talking about things that are not important. Please, cut down even your calls. Your calls expenses, cut it down. Thank God for data calls these days. You can either drop messages and all that. Please cut it down. If it's not important, if the information you're trying to pass to somebody is not important, please drop it on WhatsApp. Drop it. Just cut it down. And if you know these calls are not going to add anything to you, yes, I'm not saying don't have friends. We have friends where we want to chit chat once in a while. It's okay. It's very much okay. But please cut down unnecessary expenses. Now, I'm talking about calls, I'm talking about feeding, because these are our daily needs that consume a lot. Like, it's gradual. You look at it, it doesn't look much, but before you know it, by the time you calculate the accumulated thing, it's much. And if you don't cut it down, you become frustrated and want to touch those monies you have saved, either for emergency funds or just your proper savings and all of that. You begin to touch them. So now you come back to the cycle, and you just, don't build that cycle for you. Don't cage yourself. You don't need that. We all need, freedom is sweet. Being financially free is not having 10 million in your account. Being financially free is being debt free and having enough to cater for the most important things for you, and have good savings. Now, once that is done, please, after you've cut off your daily expenses, there's a lot. The list is long, but for the sake of our time, I try to make short videos at most 30 minutes, so I don't bore you with too much talking. So now you look out for other sources of income. The average salary earner has no extra source of income. We all want government jobs. Why? Because it has security. My brother, it doesn't have security. It doesn't have security anymore. We've seen in Kaduna State what happened. It doesn't. It's only secured for as long as one person has not stood up to talk about it. Please, Look for passive incomes. Look for things you do. We are all gifted. We are unique individuals. Now, if talking is your thing, if reaching out to people, if say selling, buying, I've seen people who are in the bank who can market anything. You're a marketer in the bank. Yes, it's good. You're one of the top. You're the best. You're doing it well. Look, there was a time I did business. You don't. Yes, formerly I used to say, how will you tell me I don't need money to do business? I did business without money. In my journey growing up, I remember that I had to just walk into the market, meet this wholesaler who sells different kinds of shoes, and I had an Android phone. What did I do? I'll just go there, take pictures, random pictures of them. A lot of people believe this shop is mine because I didn't tell them that, they just assumed. So I just take pictures, put them on WhatsApp, and you see, I had to start doing Waybill, sending shoes to other states. There was a time in one December, within a month, I sold almost 50 pairs of shoes. I was like, wow. Now, all I need to do, this man is excited giving me, because if he keeps them in his shop, it takes long sometimes. So I just market it using my WhatsApp. I make it, everybody sees it, and people who love it reached out, and some people I contacted one-on-one, people with kids and people who I felt needed my product, and I came back to the man with my list of order, and I bought everything, and most people even paid me before I give them the shoes. So the money has already been sent to my account. I just come pick it up at a subsidized, a reduced price, and sold it and got profit from it. That's one source of passive income. All I needed to invest was, I had an Android phone, and I had data. All I needed to do was just reach out. So you can do anything. I'm not saying you have to go and start selling shoes, but think deep down within you, there should be something you can do. Nobody is left blank. We are not blank pages. We are all grounds of ideas waiting to be fertilized. Like, that's what we are. Just look into you. There's something there. There's something you should be able to do aside from your salary. It's okay you have a job. And I don't want to get you scared by saying what happens when that job goes. But please, sometimes we just have to think that way. But even if the job is not going as secure as we feel government jobs are, even if these jobs are not going anywhere, you need to other sources of passive income. I've seen some salary earners who own poultries. Yes. I had some of the wise colleagues I had then who would sell beverages to their colleagues on credit. And I also collected it, and at the end of the month, we're all paid on the same day, and we're paying her. And she goes to home with her salary too. We had them. We had some selling whole provision as a foodstuff, like bags of rice. They give to their colleagues. At the end of the month, you collect your money, because you're in the system, so you know when they will pay. I'm not saying you have to do these things. I am just telling you, these are the people I have seen. As little and as stressful as these things are, they were good. In my history of working as a salary earner, I can tell you firsthand that the most comfortable staff, be it permanent or contract, that I saw or I have seen, are those who had real passive business incomes. Some had them. Imagine a salary earner having 3 streams of passive income. 3 as a salary earner. And the salary is still coming. I remember when some of our then bosses were laid off. I remembered some of them. In fact, they were drained. Like, you could see a chubby looking, drained, because it came as a shock. But I remember there's this particular man who was a farmer. He was a farmer. He does grain storage. He does a lot of within the agricultural line. There are 2, I remember. These people, they don't come out depressed. Yes, nobody's excited leaving a job like that, but at the end of the day, what happens? They come out, they feel bad that they lost their job, but they don't feel terrible. Because in their years of service in the bank, in this case it's in the bank, they had passive incomes that had grown even bigger than their salary over the years. Some of them worked for 20-something years, and they didn't have anything. You see some people, you're renting a house of 700,000, and you don't have any other savings, no passive income, no land, no business, no house, my brother, my sister, you are heading for doom. That's the truth. You can't be a tenant forever. Your salary job is not promised. The management has their salary earning is like putting a part of your life in someone else's decision. All he needs to do, okay, he enters it and he decides your fate. So please, let's do all we can. Look into you. There are things you could write books. I've seen a lot of writers who are enslaved in this salary cycle. Your salary is supposed to be a blessing. We all testified, we all gave testimony. Oh, praise the Lord, I got a job, and this. We were all excited when we got those jobs. Then after a while, we felt like it was cuffs in our hands. And at some point, it became a prison where we're locked in. We couldn't really think of what to do. That's because you imprisoned yourself, not the job alone. Yes, it's okay, the job already is like looking like slavery, but you actually imprisoned yourself. So please, we could go on and on and on with this list, but for today, please, if you have not already liked my video, please like and subscribe. Please, that's all I need, and to encourage me to keep bringing you more real life videos. I'm not just talking about finance. I am out to make us see life and enjoy life better. The earth has an abundance. We can live. I have heard people say you can't have it all, but you can have a reasonable percentage, right? A reasonable portion of the earth to yourself, which is your peace and happiness financially in all ways. I am yours, girl. I am Cynthia. Please, okay, please subscribe, share, comment, and like. That's all this cute face is asking for. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Encourage your friends to do the same, and God bless you. Thank you very much. My next video talking about breaking down the different kind of ways you can save and all. You're going to enjoy it. It's a full package. Please look out for it and subscribe. Thank you.